Travel along, Catholic pilgrims, as we read letters from the voyages of St. Frances Cabrini as she traveled around the Western Hemisphere sharing the good news of Christ. Welcome, Catholic pilgrims. Thank you for joining me today. Before we begin our reading, I think we need a bit of background information. Mother Cabrini will be at port in Guayaquil, which is in Ecuador. She's going to mention that she doesn't want to go ashore because of the revolutions. What she is speaking about is the liberal revolution of 1895. The pro-Catholic conservative president Moreno was assassinated, and a liberal anti-clerical man named Eloy Alfaro came into power. Now, if you go online, there is nothing that isn't heavily biased towards the revolution. Some pages are fine with the fact that Moreno, the conservative leader, was assassinated, but when Alfaro is assassinated many years later, they are upset that nobody was brought to justice. So, some sources are fine with the killing of one, but not the other. Sound familiar? Anyway, it was pretty frustrating looking this revolution up online because everything that I found was utterly biased with an anti-Catholic bent, and it was clear what the narrative was. So anyway, Mother Cabrini is describing how Senor Alfaro has banished religious, priests and nuns and sisters, from the country, and so she's not too keen on hanging out there, understandably. She also mentions Blessed Mariana. Now, Blessed Mariana, she is now Saint Mariana, was canonized in 1950, so this would be years later after Mother Cabrini was there. She is known as the Lily of Quito, Quito being the capital of Ecuador. Taking from Catholic Online, they say, quote, "She was orphaned as a child and raised by her elder sister and her husband. Early on, Mariana was attached to things that were religious and became a solitary in her sister's home under the direction of Mariana's Jesuit confessor. Mariana practiced the greatest austerities, ate hardly anything, slept for only 3 hours a night for years, had the gift of prophecy, and reputedly performed miracles. When an earthquake followed by an epidemic shook Quito in 1645, she offered herself publicly as a victim for the sins of the people. When the epidemic began to abate, she was stricken and died on May 26th, 1645, unquote. So I just wanted you to have a bit more information before we started, because otherwise what she's writing about today will not really have much significance to you. So let's go ahead now and open to page 152. October 16th. Yesterday we arrived at Guayaquil, where we intended to go ashore to receive Holy Communion, but 2 hours passed before the custom officers and doctors came on board. Then there arrived a Peruvian priest who, during the revolutions, had left Ecuador and settled in Peru. He had hardly reached Guayaquil when he was banished anew to Peru and embarked on our steamer. I made up my mind after this information not to go ashore and have the police following us, as everybody is held in suspicion, Senor Alfaro not having as yet fully settled his government. Guayaquil is a beautiful port. Its entrance resembles that of the Mississippi at New Orleans. We have to sail up this river for more than 6 hours before we reach the port. They say the vegetation is charming, but I cannot describe it, as we arrived at night, and after 24 hours we again sail at night. The town resembles Genoa for its scenery, only it is not so high and healthy. Seen from the steamer, the city, with its beautiful houses built with architectural regularity and well painted and in shape semicircular, reflected in the water, is very fine and not inferior to a European city. When illuminated at night, it is a wonderfully pleasant sight, and judging from the tall steeples towering over the houses, the churches should be beautiful. But now these temples and houses are deserted and present a desolate spectacle. For the first thing the revolutionary Alfaro with his followers did was to banish priests and sisters. The latter took refuge in Panama and then returned to their mother houses. Some were not banished, but a troop of rough men entered the convents and treated the inmates so brutally that the sisters fled in despair from the country. Some of these poor women suffered so much that they were still ill when I called on them. But you are not to be frightened. If you are banished from one place, you should, like the apostles, shake the dust from your shoes and enter another country. Hunted from the second, you can return again to the first, and so you will not abandon a large number of souls who desire to take advantage of the good you can do them. At the present moment, having no business in Ecuador, I simply pray the Blessed Mariana to look down upon her country and obtain that it be again enlightened with the light and faith of former days. That's all for today, Catholic Pilgrims. Tomorrow, Mother Cabrini enters a port in Peru, and it's not as pretty as the port of Guayaquil. We will hear all about that, but until then, live the faith boldly and travel well.